So you want to make vocal presets, huh, bro? Well, thankfully, you clicked this video because by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you everything that you need to know about the vocal preset creation business. I'm going to go through everything that people use to create vocal presets. So all of the preset YouTubers that you've ever watched or even bought presets from, including me, these are the steps that we take to make our presets. These are the presets that people are selling for thousands of dollars, not thousands of dollars at once, but making thousands of dollars off of them. This is how they do it. So here's a preset I have made out. This preset sounds incredible. I'm gonna record out some raw vocals. You're gonna hear my raw vocals. We're gonna apply the preset to the raw vocals and we're gonna see how it sounds. Now on this preset here, you can already see, if you have any experience with music whatsoever, there's no auto-tune on it. What I need you to do is I need you to stick around until the end of the video, and I'm gonna show you why there's no auto-tune on it, because there's actually a tip that I would use in every single one of my songs. If you use this tip, it's going to literally change your life. So make sure you stick around until the end and I'll show you what that tip is. But yeah, I'm gonna record some raw vocals out. The song that I'm using is Jace Za, so hopefully I can make this sound good.
Begging them all, I'm trying to figure out why they can't leave me alone. She been a fan, now she giving brain like a nerd. I don't know if I do it. Riding with me and that I rollin'.
Okay, so this is just gonna be my raw vocals. I'm gonna have to line it up a little bit because it was a little delayed, but let's see how it sounds. Just raw vocals.
One hit wonder, bullet hit him 96 G under. She been a fan, now she giving.
Okay, so now if I click this button right here, it's going to put on the preset that I'm gonna show you how we make, and this is what it sounds like.
When they wrong, they be saying I'm a one hit wonder. Bullet hit him 96 G under. She been a fan, now she giving brain like a nerd. I don't know what I do it.
Okay, so now before we go through all the effects and I share everything with you, one thing I need to say is that if you don't have a whole lot of experience with making presets or mixing at all, this actually is going to be pretty confusing. Now, this isn't to scare you away because I'm going to try and explain everything as best as I can. But what I am saying is that in the description, I have two links. So the first link that I have is going to be just a checkout page, a Stripe link. Literally, you click that Stripe link, and on this video only, I don't have this on any other video currently. But you can click that link and you just literally check out, and what I'll do is I'll reach out straight to your phone number and your email as soon as I see that you checked out. I will message you and I will either schedule a call with you and we can get on call and I will literally make a vocal preset to your vocals, or I'll just take like recordings of your vocals off call, and if you don't want to call, then I don't have to get on call with you and I'll just do the vocal preset for you like that. But basically what I'm saying is I'm making custom vocal presets is only for this video, so hopefully this video performs well so I can make a lot of money. Yeah, I'm not gonna have that offer up for a long time, so I don't know how, like, when you're seeing this video, if you're seeing this like months in the future, it might not be there because I'm going to get a lot of requests to do this and I don't have a lot of time. Then the second link is my completely free community. Literally join that. It's completely free. It's just a community full of music artists, so yeah, you could join that one too. It's free. Yeah, it's free, bro. The first effect that you want to have on your vocal preset is a noise gate. So what a noise gate is it allows you to cut out the static in your vocals without using like any AI or anything that's like gonna actually fuck up the vocals. It just like, it naturally cuts out when it hears static. So the way that it works is when there is static below a certain point, but we're not talking, it's gonna completely turn the signal to zero. So you can see here that I'm talking right here, and there's this yellow thing right here. Now, anytime that I stop talking, you can see this white thing go down. That's the noise gate turning on. So the way that we configure this is we turn the gain to zero because we obviously don't want any static. So the gain knob is how much of a signal we want to be left. Now, in order to tell it when to turn off, that's what the threshold knob is. So the threshold knob is anything that's under the gate that you see right there. Anything that's under that, we're gonna turn to zero. Or if we had this at 50, then it would be telling it anything that's under the threshold, turn to 50% volume. But obviously we want our static completely gone, so that wouldn't make any sense. Then this release knob is just how fast it will fade out. So if you watch, now it's fading out really slow. This is essentially like how fast the volume is turning down. So if we have it like this, now look at it. It's cutting out instantly, and that sounds very bad, so we don't want it. So all you have to do to configure this is just make sure that it's under, just configure this threshold so that your vocals are going above it but the static isn't. The next thing that we need to do is an EQ. Now an EQ is essentially modifying the frequencies in our vocals. So every sound that we make with our vocal cords is a vibration, aka a frequency. Now an EQ is the way that we modify these frequencies to make our vocals sound different. So I will show you what it sounds like before and after EQs. I'm going to show you both of the EQs that I use in this specific vocal preset. But like I said, this is just how we modify certain frequencies in our vocals. EQs are incredibly important, so if you can like go find a tutorial that teaches EQs, I'd recommend doing that, but it is very boring. So if you come in my free community that I have linked in the description, I teach a lot of that shit in there. But the reason that we modify frequencies is because some frequencies just don't sound good. So for example, this one right here, none of this sub area sounds good. So I'll show you what it actually sounds like. So this is an example of a frequency that we would cut out. So as you can see, it doesn't sound good at all. So that's exactly why we do the opposite of what you can see here. We do this. We cut it out. It's gone now. It's literally not in the vocal. Now the way that I found what else to cut was I took these certain bands. So 3, 4, 5, 6. I basically just took all of the bands I could and I would drag them up like this. And I would scan around for frequencies that sound like shit. So the way that this just works is I'm starting from here, going to here, going to here, going to here as I play my vocals. And eventually I'm going to come across something that actually doesn't sound too good. Or it'll even hurt your ears. So that's when you really know, okay, this frequency, we don't want to keep it in. It's probably not doing us justice to keep it in. So let's turn it down. So that's exactly what I did in this vocal preset. Now I do have a compressor first after that EQ that I just showed you, but I'm going to show you this EQ first. So this EQ here, I'm doing a dip right here. So it's just getting rid of a little bit more of that bass, because that bass is really something that we always just want to get rid of. The reason for that actually is because not only does it sound weird if you have speakers that can pick up on the vocals, like lower frequencies, some speakers can't pick it up, but some can, and then it sounds really bad. But if you listen to beats, like the beat I'm using in this song, they have 808s. And what happens is normally frequencies, if they're placed next to each other in the mix, they will end up clashing with each other and they will just fight to fit in that certain frequency range. So we don't want that happening with our vocals and the beats 808s. So we just cut them out because the 808s typically always take up a huge part of the low end of the mix. But then I also have a little dip here. So once again, all I did to find this was just drag it up, see what I didn't like, and cut it down. Now be careful with this in specific. Anything from mid to bass area, you have to be careful because you can actually thin out your vocals, because what will happen is if you turn this too low, but then your high ends are still up there and you haven't cut those down a bunch, then what's going to happen is naturally the volume of your vocals is going to get quieter because you're removing so many frequencies. So naturally you're going to have to boost it up. But then what's happening is you have all these high ends up here that are still normal volume. So then you're essentially boosting the fucking shit out of the high end's volume, but the low end is still at like a normal volume. So you can imagine now it's just really harsh on the ears because there's so much high end in the vocal. So really be careful when you're doing this. Make sure that when you're EQing, you're 100% positive that it's making it beneficial to the actual sound of the vocal. Don't just go around throwing EQ bands all over the place just thinking that it makes it better because you're doing more. It's not actually how it works. Typically EQs are better if you're doing less. But then I have another cut here. I have a little bit of a boost here, a cut here, and then I boost a bunch here. The reason I boost here is because anything up here makes your vocals sound very clear. It gives them a lot of clarity. It makes them stand out in the mix. It gives them more definition and it sounds good. Now be careful with this because you don't want it too high, otherwise it can fuck everything up. But now if I turn off every other effect, I'm going to keep the noise gate on because that doesn't really do very much. But now I'm going to show you what it sounds like before and after the EQs. So
I'm gonna get back to the times when I was wrong. You ain't getting money, you gotta leave it alone. They be saying I'ma fall off and I'm knowing they wrong.
I'm not gonna lie, my vocals don't sound very good on this, but the difference, you can kind of tell the difference. It just, EQs are mainly for giving definition to the vocals and shaping the sound of them and giving them more clarity to hit through the mix. The next thing I want to show you is a Fruity compressor. So you can use any compressor plugin you want. I'm just specifically making this stock only so that you don't have to like go out and buy any presets. Obviously the auto-tune isn't going to be stock, but boo-hoo. So the way that a compressor works, I'm not going to get into all to the scientific detail because it's just kind of confusing, but what you need to do is you just need to make this ratio like 4 to 6. The reason I'm not explaining this is because you probably don't care. Odds are, if you're watching this, you just want to make fucking rap music and you just want to sound good. You don't want to actually engineer your music. So I'm just sharing with you everything that you need to just copy. But yeah, I have the ratio at around 5. The ratio is just how much it's going to compress your vocals. If you don't know what a compressor is, it's literally just taking these louder parts of the vocal, as you can see, and it's putting them down to this quieter part so that it's a more consistent volume. That's literally all compression is. And then the threshold knob is basically when it's telling the compressor to turn on. So if you want to configure this for yourself, just play around with the ratio depending on how much compression you feel like you want. If you're going more rappy vocals, just go a little bit lower on this. You could even go like 4, and then you just want to play around with the threshold. The lower that you go, the faster the compressor is going to turn on, and you're going to notice if you turn it too low, it's actually going to make your vocals start to duck, and they'll start to, you'll be able to hear that they're compressed, and it won't sound very good. Then the attack, I just turn it to 0. Release, I don't know. I might get clowned in the comments because some engineer is going to come along and tell me that I'm doing this all wrong. Shut up. The next thing that I have on here is a sound goodizer. But what I want to tell you is that you shouldn't actually use sound goodizer. So what you can actually use instead is this plugin right here. This plugin I'm about to show you is completely free. You just have to install it. It's not stock, but it is completely free. It is called Fresh Air. So what this plugin does is it saturizes your vocals. So what that means is it just makes your vocals way brighter. But the thing with this is that it has way more control than Sound Goodizer. So you can actually choose where the saturation is being added. So you can add mid presence or you can add high. So sometimes we don't want too much high presence in our vocals because they sound harsh, and you just want mid presence, or vice versa. So this is how you do that. So Fresh Air is completely free, so just go download it. It's literally free, bro. I would just put this to wherever you want. Honestly, you can configure it on your own. I'm gonna put it to 25 for now. I don't even know how it's gonna sound, but it doesn't matter. The next thing I have is a reverb like this, and then I've turned it down like this. And then I have a delay 3, and I've also turned it down way down to 3%. And then I have this little EQ boost here. I just did this for simplicity. I just literally dragged it up right here. And this just boosts the high ends a little bit more. Now, what I was talking about earlier is the auto-tune thing. So the auto-tune thing is if we come to our insert 1, so we have that preset we just made on a different insert. It doesn't matter what inserts you use. It just make sure they're different. So this could be, the preset could be on my insert 16 and my auto-tune could be on my insert 1. It doesn't matter. It's just that they have to be on different ones. So what you do is you put an auto-tune on one specific insert, and then you route that insert, you remove it from the master like this. So it's gonna, by default, it'll look like this. Click that and then route the auto-tune insert that we've just chosen to the preset insert. And now in the preset insert, if you don't want to hear yourself, you click this button right here. And now I can't hear myself. So now that's gone. And now I don't have to hear myself. If you want to hear yourself, you can. And now on this auto-tune insert, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we click in 1 right here. And then click this button right here to initialize recording. So I hope this isn't too confusing. We have a preset insert right here that our vocals are not routed to. Our mic does not go to it. It just specifically has effects on it. And it is not set to record either. It doesn't have this checked. And then on a different one, we have this checked, and then we have our mic going to it, and then we have our auto-tune on that. So I'm using Antra's auto-tune, of course. All we need to do to figure out how to configure our auto-tune is we solo out our beat by right-clicking this right here, and then we put on an auto key onto the master track, and then we play the beat out. And now one quick tip is if you see that this A equals something other than 440, you want to tweak it. I'm not going to explain why. Just trust me when I say this. Anyone who knows anything about music will tell you the same thing. Trust me. But now the reason that we did this is because now we only have to have one. But now the only reason that we did this is, because we did this, how am I stuttering so much, bro? Jesus Christ. But now, anyway, because we added the auto-tune to this one insert and we don't have it on this insert, now what we do is whenever we want to record different layers or ad-libs, if you know what ad-libs are, they're like the we can have different presets. So we could have an ad-lib preset here, our main vocal preset here, our layering preset, our different presets. We can have thousands of different presets, and we don't have to add the auto-tune onto every single preset and have our CPU like literally start on fire or have to configure it 1,000 times. So it's like we have one central auto-tune that's going to send our auto-tuned vocals to different presets. So to show you what I'm talking about, I added on an ad-lib preset onto this insert right here. So now what I could do is if I want to record my ad-libs out, all I have to do is stop sending my auto-tuned vocals to the lead vocal preset that we just made, and instead I just have to send them to the ad-lib preset. And now these are my ad-libs. So now I could just record them out. They have auto-tune already. It has an auto-tune on it just by default, and now you can see that I don't have an auto-tune on it, but it's already auto-tuned because the auto-tune is here, and it's sending the auto-tuned one here, and then it's going, yeah, you get what I mean, bro. This is how I would make your own vocal preset. I hope you enjoyed the video.